Evelyn Lozada, as many know, is a fierce protector of her family, especially when it comes to her daughter, Shanice. Recently, the drama surrounding her daughter's relationship with rapper The Game has reached new heights, and Evelyn wasn't about to let the situation slide quietly. It all started when The Game, who had been in a seemingly serious relationship with Shanice, suddenly ghosted her, leaving her blindsided and hurt. When Evelyn found out, she didn't hold back, and her response was nothing short of explosive. The story between Shanice and The Game had initially seemed like it could lead to something genuine. They were spotted together at events, exchanging flirty posts on social media, and making it look like they were building something real. The Game, known for his playboy ways, has a history of wooing women with grand gestures and promises of a future, only to pull back once things get serious. Unfortunately for Shanice, she became just another name on his list of flings, and what seemed like a promising relationship quickly soured. At first, everything appeared perfect. The Game was showering Shanice with attention, taking her out on private dinners, gifting her with lavish presents, and making their relationship public through posts on social media. For a while, it looked like they were truly a couple, and Shanice, who was clearly smitten, allowed herself to believe that something real was happening. But as quickly as it started, things began to change. As soon as rumors circulated that Shanice wanted to take their relationship to the next level, The Game started to act distant. This isn't the first time The Game has pulled this kind of move, though. He has a long history of stringing women along and giving them just enough attention to make them feel special before disappearing once they start wanting more. And that's exactly what happened here. When things got serious, The Game, without warning, cut ties with Shanice completely, vanishing without a word and leaving her heartbroken and confused. But it didn't stop there. The Game didn't just disappear in private, he went public with it. As if the heartbreak wasn't enough, The Game quickly moved on and started flaunting his new lifestyle, hanging out with other women and posting on social media as though Shanice never existed. For Shanice, who was still reeling from the breakup, seeing her ex moving on so quickly and publicly made everything worse. It was clear to everyone that The Game had no intentions of making things work with Shanice, and the public nature of his actions only added salt to the wound. Now, you know that Evelyn Lozada, being the protective mother that she is, wasn't going to let this situation slide. The moment she got wind of how her daughter was treated, she went straight into mama bear mode. Evelyn's loyalty to her family is unwavering, and this time, she was ready to go full throttle to defend her daughter's honor. She made it clear that The Game had messed with the wrong person. Evelyn's reaction was swift, and it was clear that she was done with The Game's games. She called him out on social media, exposing his shady behavior and making sure everyone knew that she wouldn't stand by and let her daughter be treated like that. Evelyn's post was direct and powerful, making it clear that The Game's behavior wasn't going to be overlooked. She also made sure to let everyone know that she had always had a bad vibe about him from the start. And even though she didn't interfere in Shanice's life initially, she wasn't going to keep quiet now that things had gone south. The Game, of course, didn't take too kindly to Evelyn's explosive reaction. Instead of addressing the situation like an adult, he took to Instagram, posting vague messages that seemed to be aimed at Shanice and her mother. His posts were filled with shade, calling out jobless, entitled women, and saying that some women were just in it for the perks. The timing of these posts couldn't have been more telling, and it was clear that he was talking about Shanice, whether he wanted to admit it or not. Instead of taking responsibility for his actions, The Game chose to act like a bitter ex, throwing jabs at his former lover in an immature attempt to save face. In response to all of this drama, Evelyn decided to rise above it all and focus on her family. She took to social media again, but this time it was to celebrate her grandson, Blaze Taylor, and show the world that her family was in a good place, despite the chaos caused by The Game. It was Evelyn's way of sending a message without saying a word. While The Game was out here posting petty and childish messages, she was focused on what truly mattered, her family, and the love and support they shared. Evelyn didn't need to dive into the drama like The Game did. Instead, she used her social media presence to highlight the positive things in her life, including her family. She knew that the best revenge in situations like this wasn't necessarily clapping back at every slight, but instead standing strong and showing that you're in a good place, surrounded by love and positivity. And that's exactly what she did. But let's not forget that this situation is more complicated than it seems. While Evelyn was fully justified in standing up for her daughter, some people are questioning whether Shanice was truly an innocent victim in all of this. There are rumors swirling that Shanice knew exactly what she was getting into with the game. After all, dating a famous rapper like him comes with perks, money, connections, and clout. Some believe that Shanice wasn't just looking for love, but also looking for a way to secure her own come-up. It's possible that she thought she could be the one to change the game's ways, but unfortunately, she got burned in the end. Of course, we can't say for certain if that's the case, but it's an angle that people are exploring. The game has a history of using women and then discarding them when he's ready to move on, so it's entirely possible that Shanice thought she could be the exception, but when that didn't happen, she found herself left in the dust. This brings up the complicated reality of relationships in the entertainment world, where fame, money, and opportunity often blur the lines between genuine love and opportunistic connections. As the situation unfolded, the game's posts continued to stir the pot. He made it clear that he was still upset and wanted to make sure everyone knew how he felt, even though it only made him look more immature. Instead of taking responsibility for his actions, he chose to deflect and attack, which